Hey there, YouTube. I'm back with another DPS video for you today. Now this is more of an update video because I've already done a Sorcery DPS video on my channel, but I did it like way in the back when Stats Revamp kind of first came out. They changed it up a little bit, gave it a couple buffs. Weapons Expert's a lot better now. All this stuff has changed, so I thought I'd bring you an update to it. And before we get into the video, I want to do a great shout out to one of my league members. She started her own YouTube channel, Sinful PRincez. I will put a link in the description to her channel. Go check it out. Go subscribe. She does Call of Duty. She does DC. Super cool. Great live streams, all kinds of fun. You might catch me in there sometimes, you never know. And I'll also put the way it's spelt somewhere in the video, probably right around in here when I'm talking about it. But yeah, please go check her out, man. Seriously, go down, click the link, type her name up. Either way, just go subscribe, do your thing. With that being said, let's get into the video. So I'm gonna show you my gear first, as I always do. Nothing special. I got just working on getting my 205 gear right now. No mods yet. I got my white sockets for some of my pieces, and that is about it as of right now. So the first loadout that I'm going to show you is the primary loadout that I do use, and this is a weapons expert loadout. So my might is 16. K, and then my precision is 10k, almost 11k, and that is base. This is my base might. I am 233 CR. So that's that. We'll go ahead and get into loadouts. Well, weapons, not loadouts. But anyways, weapons. So for this, I use bow because bow mastery is very hard. So what you want to do is you want to go ahead and spec all in the bow, get bow mastery, come out, go down, get all martial arts down to martial arts mastery, go back all the way up the bow again, and get smoke ball mastery. Smoke ball mastery is your bread and butter for this rotation. It hits really hard, and you'll see here shortly. So then, super speed, get your super speed, go ahead and get your resistance if you want to. I only have 258 skill points, so I didn't. My stat points, focus, weapons expert, go ahead and do criticals, and then go into precision. After you're done with precision, go into might and power, or health, that is up to you, but I would go might and power for sure. Alright, so loadouts. So this loadout goes left to right here. We go Circle of Destruction, Weapon of Destiny, Offering, Karmic Backlash, Summon Fury, and Neo Venom Boost. So this is your PI. Circle of Destruction is your PI. You got your weapon buff, which is Weapon of Destiny. Offering gives power back to Fury, and then Karma Backlash is kind of just a hard-hitting move that you'd use after your Smoke Bomb. So I'm going to show you the rotation here. So the way you do Smoke Bomb is always square. I'll go ahead and get back into it and show you. Let's see. Go in the bow, and I'll show you right here. So you tap, hold, square. Tap, hold, and hold. There you go. And that is it. This is what you want to use the majority of the time. All right. So with that, the way I do it is I go ahead and I clip Circle of Destruction and Weapon of Destiny together. Go ahead and do a Weapon Mastery combo, pop Offering, Weapon Mastery combo, Karmic Backlash, Weapon Mastery combo, back into Offering, and then I just continue that over and over again until both my weapon buff and my dot are off cooldown. Make sure at all times you have Weapon of Destiny on cooldown. Pop it as soon as it pops up, even if it messes up your rotation sometimes, because that really helps your damage. Like I said, bow is your bread and butter to this. You want to do as much weapon damage as possible. So yeah. Alright, so go ahead and show you. 17.3 at an 18 crit. I'll go ahead and back off and I'll show you again. Yeah, I mean, that's a 17.3 with only an 18.3 crit. I've hit 20 K on the sparring targets with this. It's super hard. I mean, for bosses and ads, it's nice. It's one of the better powers for weapons expert. And I'd advise you, if you ever do use weapons expert, go for the bow. It just hits so hard. Even bosses, AoE, they both just hits incredibly hard. So let's go ahead and I'll show you this again, and then we'll go to the 8 and the single target, and we'll move on to the might loadout. And there is a 19 and a 22% crit. As you can see, this hits. It's a very hard hitting loadout. You do. I'll say this. You do lose a little bit. So that was a 19. It might drop down to maybe an 18, 5, maybe go down 1,000. Just because when you go in, Fury usually has power. So the initial battle is going to, he's going to hit harder because he already has power. But with that being said, on ads, they die quickly, so that's actually really good for people who use Sorcery, and even Crystal for that matter. So I'm going to show you on the 8, and then I'll show you on single target. And there was a 20 on single at a 22.3% crit. Very good damage. Very good damage indeed. Go ahead and get my power back, and we'll rock out. Single target. And that's the lowest crit I've ever seen. But that was 10K with a 4.9% crit. I've never seen that low. But with that being said, either way, it hits up to 12. I've hit 12. 11, 12 is usually my average. That was a 4.9% crit, but even 10 still good damage. So yeah, so that is the precision loadout. I'd advise, instead of using escalating might, throw in relentless precision for here. The more precision, the better, the more damage you're going to do. People with more skill points than myself are definitely going to do better damage because I can put way more skill points into my might because I don't got a spec for the weapon points. So there is that. But otherwise, I'm going to show you the might loadout now. Alright, so everything with the gear is the same, nothing different, but I'll show you my might stat. So my base might is 21k, 73. Alright, spec wise, the only thing you're going to get is super power loadout. So, your bow or whatever else you use, get that 1 point in there, get your speed force. Honestly, you kind of really don't need these because this loadout is actually pretty ranged. So you really don't need these, but if you want to get them, that is solely up to you. You don't need either one of these. Actually, no, never mind. Let me rephrase that. You do need Neo Venomous, but you do not need Robot Sidekick. I just had them spec still. All right, so stat points. Focus is super powered. You go ahead and get your crits, throw it, dump everything else into might and power. Once it's done, go into health or precision. That is up to you. So loadouts. So loadout left to right is Circle of Destruction, Soul Storm, Soul Siphon, Soul Barrage, Fury, and Neo Venom Boost. So in this rotation, Fury really isn't, the super main source of damage, and this is where the damage kind of lacks off. But this is the best loadout that I could figure out with Might for this power. So I'm going to show you two, damage farce with this, because it does dramatically drop off. I mean, it's not terrible, and then it slowly climbs back up. But what I was saying earlier was that Fury has power. When he has power, he's going to hit hard. He has his hard-hitting ticks. With his hard-hitting ticks, he uses his power, and then once he's out of power, he kind of hits like a robot sidekick would at that point. So when he runs out of power, he's going to hit weaker, therefore you're going to do less damage. So the first, damage phase, damage farce, is going to be very, very good. And then after that, it's going to drop, and then it's going to slowly climb back up. So I'll show you here right now. Super simple rotation. It's literally just left to right. Make sure circles up, and then just go Soul Storm, Soul Siphon, and Soul Barrage repeatedly until your dot is off cooldown, and that is it. Like I said, it's ranged, and it does still hit pretty hard. If you're a might-based player, go for it. Like I don't care. I use both, so that is up to you. So I'm going to show you the damage. Two, three. So right there was an 18. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you another damage farce here, and you're going to see the difference in damage. It dropped down to a 13, which is very, very, very consistent damage decrease. And that's the problem that Sorcery has, because this is the best might rotation I could figure out, through just testing. I wanted to sit there and show that to you. I'm not going to come on here and try to fool you into thinking that Sorcery is the most OP power in the game, because it isn't. But it's still good, and this is definitely a lot better and a way better spot than it was months and months ago when Stats Revamp came out. The 8 I'm not going to show you because literally it does the same thing. It'll about probably 17, 18, 19, and then it'll drop down dramatically. Maybe not as dramatic, but it still does drop down. But single target, I will go ahead and show you the damage. All right, a 9, and it's the same concept. It will drop down. It'll probably drop down to about an 8 usually, but it still hits pretty hard on bosses at first. So yeah, I mean, that's Sorcery in a nutshell. Nothing crazy. That's all for the video. Please go check out Sinful PRincez's channel though for me, please. Link in the description. Drop a like, subscribe.